And we're live! Woohoo!
Whoa.
Just remember, we cannot record longer than 8 hours. It tells me that every time. If that's a problem.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
If you record for 8 hours, you should have shut up a long time ago. Okay. I guess I'll fire in the intro music. Tech Twice Weekly, episode number 1. Welcome to Tech Twice Weekly. My name is Ben White, and this is a new show covering technology news twice a week. I'll be bringing you the headlines every Sunday and Wednesday, along with some discussion of the big stories. Joining me today to kick things off is my good friend, Eric Fee. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. What's up, dog?
Not a whole lot. I'm excited to get a new show started.
Me too. Feels familiar.
Little bit. But let's get into the headlines, I suppose. So, starting us off, TechCrunch reports on Amazon launching their new Kindle Music Unlimited service Friday, offering unlimited ebooks and audiobooks for $9.99 a month. The service touts offering over 600,000 ebooks and thousands of audiobooks. Among the included titles are many bestsellers like Hunger Games and the Harry Potter series, but a lot of the titles are some lesser known artists. So this means there's a mix of major publishing houses signed on and a lot of smaller authors getting some publicity out there. So that's probably a pretty good thing. The Verge brings us news on Netflix testing out a new privacy mode similar to incognito mode in Chrome or privacy browsing mode in Mozilla Firefox. This Netflix privacy mode will allow users to watch movies in their Netflix library without having them be tracked in their watched history. This means privacy mode won't influence future movie recommendations either. This could be great for watching a low budget comedy movie or maybe actually getting to check out Geely if that's been on your list. But realistically, I guess it's going to be more for possibly things like letting a guest check out your Netflix account without screwing up your recommendations. Google is making life easier for cyclists, as reported by Android Police. In a recent update to Google Maps, travel directions for cyclists will now include an overview of elevation changes on the suggested route and offer a choice of multiple elevation routes when possible. This will let cyclists choose the flattest or steepest route to their destination. Additionally, in this update, Google promises to be adding new voice features to Google Maps. This will allow you to ask questions like, when will I get there? And what is my next turn? The update should be coming out soon. Google has already signed off on it. There are also some other minor updates, and if you're interested in those, you can check out them in the link in our show notes. In a move that many might call too little too late, Google has announced that after 3 years, they are dropping their real name rules for the Google Plus network. Originally implemented by Google as a method to help improve the success and quality of Google's social network, it never really worked out. There was a huge backlash from the fans and the user base, many people creating fake accounts, but they really stuck to it to the point of Google's Eric Schmidt even being quoted as saying if you didn't want to use your real name on the Google network, you should just go to a different social network entirely. But the policy itself was always a little unclear. Um, and it led to a lot of difficult experiences for users. So, to directly quote Google on their press release about this, they had to say, "We know that our name policy has been unclear, and this led to some unnecessary difficult experiences for some of our users. For this, we apologize. We hope that today's change is a step toward making Google Plus the welcoming and inclusive place that we want it to be." I guess time will tell if there's going to be more than 12 people on Google Plus going forward. PC Mag covers Dell's announcement that they will now begin accepting Bitcoin for payment on U.S. consumer and small business purchases. Dell has said they will be accepting Bitcoin with the help of a partnership with Coinbase, an online Bitcoin wallet and transaction management service. In other Bitcoin news, Newegg also announced that they will begin accepting Bitcoin for payments using BitPay. Lastly, Google has received pressure from the European Commission in regards to their in-app purchases. In a response to this, Google has announced that they will no longer be labeling apps in the Google Play Store as free if they include in-app purchases. While Google hasn't said exactly what they do plan to label these apps, they have said the change will occur in an update scheduled for the end of September. And that being said, those are our headlines. So, reaching back to some of the bigger stories out of the lineup, what do you think of Google dropping the real name policy, Eric?
I think that they finally need to do that. Google Plus, if it was just a social network, would be fine to say, here are some stringent rules and we want you to live by them. But now that Google Plus is basically integrated into all Google services, and you kind of have to sign up to be able to do to be able to have access to Google's range of features with your account. I recently signed up for Google Plus. I don't use it, but I signed up for it specifically because YouTube kept hounding me. Which name do you want to use? You can't post it. You pick blah 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 and all this other junk. And I'm just like, well, dang it, man! I just want to do the thing. Stop making me do what I don't want to do. And so, dropping some of these rules will make people feel more welcomed and more likely to not only use it but sign up in the first place. And it will make it feel like less of a chore having to sign up. I don't like signing up for things that I don't need to, so it was kind of a big deal for me personally.
No, I agree completely. I mean, there's a lot of places where I'll read a news story, for example, and maybe have a comment I'd like to share, but if I don't have the option to sign in with a network I'm already part of or leave a comment without signing up for something, I'll just let it go because I really hate signing up for one-off things that I'm never going to use again. And especially if you're not looking to be part of the Google Plus social network community, then why on earth do you care about setting up for a Google Plus account just to leave a comment or two on some YouTube videos?
Indeed. So I'd like to touch on the Amazon Kindle service thing.
Definitely.
Um, I like the idea of a subscription-based service like Netflix, because with Netflix, which we all know and love, the streaming is watch it and then forget it. You know, you watch something, you enjoy it, you come back and watch it later if you feel so inclined, but you get to view that content when you want to, how you want to, and it doesn't cost extra. You already paid for it, so like the first movie I watch a month is $8. The rest of them are free.
Pretty much, right.
Um,
It's actually less than a movie ticket.
yeah, and I like to stream Netflix whenever I'm just got nothing better to do. And I know that a lot of people feel the same way. There are a few things better than curling up in bed with, a candy bar, a soda, and Netflix.
Right. I mean, especially if it's as easy as it is to stream one movie right after the other. It's perfect for just relaxing and powering through a whole season of a TV show or catching up on some movies.
Yeah, and the idea that Amazon's launching a similar service is positive. I think that the subscription-based service access to media is going to become more popular. Um, uh, Microsoft tried it a while ago, I think a little bit before its time, with their Zune music service, which was, you get access to basically all their music for a specific price a month.
The Zune Pass, I remember that. It was kind of a big deal in concept, but it never seemed to take off.
Well, because you needed their specific devices, and unlike Amazon, the Zune didn't. People didn't have a lot of Zunes. They weren't that popular of a device, and these kinds of services require some kind of control over where the content goes. Otherwise, people with copyrights, publishing houses and all that with copyrights wouldn't want to jump on board. The only downside I see to this unlimited usage per month thing is that they're not offering all their books, just some of them.
Right. And the big thing for me is I wish there was more audiobooks because have the opportunity to listen way more than I have the option to read in my time, in my free time available. My eyes are usually distracted with something else. And
Like driving.
right, exactly. Driving is a great example. Working out at the gym is another great example. Even just slogging away with daily paperwork at the office, I can't just park a paperback in front of me, but I can, listen to something all day long.
Totally. And audiobooks are a great way to get in lovely stories and interesting writing in a more passive way.
One big thing that wasn't really touched on in the TechCrunch article, but I dug up with looking around on some other people covering the story, is about how the program is actually being offered to independent authors. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting is that in order to be considered to be part of the Kindle Unlimited service, if you want your book to be in the offerings, you have to sign up, put your book in what Amazon calls their Kindle Select program. And the Kindle Select program requires that your book be available on Amazon and only Amazon exclusively. So that means if you want your book to be part of this exposure, you have to agree to give up any potential sales of your book through any other marketplace, and you can't even have your book available through a Creative Commons license, just publicly available out there. Amazon has to be the only source for your written material.
That's a little harsh for fledgling authors that are trying to get as much. They're out there grasping for straws to get their book read and get it in people's hands. And if they can't have a cheap, if they can't have a cheap print as you pay service type of book printing at the same time, that's going to be a kind of a killer for some of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know there's some benefits to it, like you get the sneak peek and they actually help promote your book and things like that, but I'm just not sure the risk of cutting out all your other sales methods is worth it for such an early offering.
It might depend. I mean, some authors who have already got a limited amount of success are conducive, but other authors who want to sell on netbooks, want to sell on Amazon, that's a good name for it, netbooks, who want to sell on Amazon and other places might find it deal breaker.
Yeah, definitely. The last story I wanted to touch on was about the Bitcoin news, with Dell accepting Bitcoin and Newegg accepting Bitcoin, and a while back now, Tiger Direct is starting to accept Bitcoin. I guess the first question I want to ask you is, do you follow Bitcoin? Are you into the cryptocurrency scene at all?
No, I'm not. I kind of see it as like more of a commodities market. People trying to trade up in and out for money, and it's like, well, it's a currency, and it shouldn't be a commodity. So until it basically stops fluctuating so wildly and becomes really boring, I don't care.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is one of the weird things about it because it is traded like a commodity and used like a currency. But at the same time, it's definitely stabled out a lot. I mean, Bitcoin itself had a huge spike a while back, but Lately, it's been pretty solid around the $650 mark for the past several months. It's certainly not as it doesn't fluctuate nearly as quickly as some of the altcoins like Litecoin or Dogecoin or any of those other uh, alternative currency coins out there.
Well, yeah, we'll see. It's still not at a normal currency rate, but um, yeah, I really think that I'm looking forward to Bitcoin being very stable and a real alternative to the dollar. Um, so I guess we'll see. When a regular bank also will take and insure a Bitcoin, that's going to be the day when you can put Bitcoins in your bank account and spend it on your debit card, or when you can pull Bitcoins out of your bank account, it will be a true to money currency.
And you're talking about like legit serious banks like Wells Fargo or Bank of America, not just these one-off Bitcoin banks that are opening up all over the place.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mean big American bank chains, but I do mean actual banks that handle regular currency exchange, regular bank accounts, and all that. And they can be one-off banks too, as long as they're actual banks and not basically Bitcoin hubs.
Right.
Um,
You don't want some
and
fly-by-night bank.
yeah, the Bitcoin houses are a little bit weird to say the least. They exist to hoard a very controversial and wildly fluctuating currency, and I'm pretty sure that they don't do like the normal banks and invest. I mean, what you'll see in a normal bank is they don't have the collective funds of all their users in a vault. They really have access to a portion of it, and the rest they invest with loans and uh, and debt management and all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing Bitcoin available as a standard currency, not just for those kinds of services like uh, Namecheap or whatever, but that you also can do free currency exchange.
And do you think having these major technology marketplaces for selling hardware and all these goods starting to accept Bitcoin help legitimize it at all?
You gotta start somewhere, man. It's not gonna, you're not gonna going to be able to use it like a currency if no one will take it as currency. So I think that's very good, but at the same time, I also think that we need more stability. Right now, I think one of the best uh, and most important steps is that the United States government does not care about it.
Well, they sort of care. I mean, I don't know if you heard that the federal government did finally make a determination last year, just in time for the 2013 tax filings, that Bitcoin will be taxed as a commodity rather than being taxed as income. So you pay taxes on Bitcoin ownership, very similar to what you'd pay on bales of hay or herds of cattle, rather than what you'd pay on your paycheck, for example.
Yeah, and as long as it doesn't surprise me because it acts like a commodity in the marketplace, so it doesn't surprise me. But I think that well, I already told you what I think. So
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it comes down to twofold. I mean, businesses accepting it is good. That helps it grow. But realistically, the structure around the whole concept of Bitcoin needs to be firmed up a bit to help its legitimacy as well. We got to kind of balance that scale. If all the businesses are accepting it, but there's no real structure for managing it or handling it, it's still going to have some issues. It has to get that balance under control.
yeah,
Well, excellent. Were there any other stories you had anything to talk up about? Those are the big ones I had noticed myself.
Not today, other than the fact that OzCon is going on in our little town of Portland, Oregon. So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have OzCon started today in our backyard with some conferences, some I guess panels. Is what I'm trying to say. I think the whole real show kicks off tomorrow with the opening ceremonies, and then the rest of the week with the actual full convention.
unfortunately, I'll be busy at work on Monday, but my company sponsored me for OzCon on Tuesday through Thursday. So I'll be there all day, hanging out, checking everything out, and going to every panel I can fit in, taking notes like furious so I can send them back to work. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Well, maybe I'll see you there. I'm gonna try and make opening ceremonies tomorrow night. They're from 5 to 6, 5 to 7. I have to double check the schedule. But yeah, I noticed that I can fit opening ceremony into my schedule for Monday, and then Tuesday after work I can make it to check out the expo hall from 5 to 7 before they shut that down. So I won't be able to make Wednesday's expo hall. I'll be working myself, but maybe I'll run into you down there.
Yeah, man.
Don't quite have a rig to podcast on the road right now, but hey, maybe this time next year we'll have our act together and actually record something from the field.
Hopefully so. That'd be
All right.
perfect.
Yeah. Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to sign off here. Do you have anything personal you want to plug? Any projects you got going on?
Not really. Ongoing work on my XL250R. Took it for a ride just today, and that was fun. Um, Looking for a new place. That's cool.
Yeah, the market in Portland's pretty dry. I've been kind of looking around to see what my options are myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a place with a garage, 3 bedrooms in North Portland. It's not easy, but you just gotta keep looking up. Keep looking for ads, keep sending emails, keep making calls. Eventually, you'll find something.
Right, right.
What else? Let's see here. Oh, I had something I was gonna say, but I forgot. Darn.
Well, and don't forget, people can check you out on Pro Slackers After Hours.
Oh yeah, of course. More information on what I'm doing and what Ben's doing in a less formal setting. So make sure to check it out. proslackers.com/afterhours. We lost episode 2 due to hard drive failure.
It's the lost episode.
Exactly. We'll never know what was there. But we're shooting episode 3 later today, and so that should be up soon, hopefully.
Yes.
Exactly. And we'll have to plug this show when we get there, too. Don't forget. Yeah. Cool, man.
But yeah, new rig. So turnaround time on getting these episodes out is going to be much quicker. So hopefully we'll instead of being a couple days, we'll get that into 24-hour turnaround at minimum or at longest. All right. Well, thank you everybody for checking us out. I will be back. Might have Eric joining me. We'll see what his schedule looks like, but I will be back Wednesday evening. Check us out at techtwicedaily.com. We'll have the episode up there as well as our link to our show notes. Have a great day, everybody. And I'll just end the recording because I lost the audio file I was supposed to play. But we're done recording, so that's the important part.
Indeed. You can worry about that other audio file next time.
Maybe I'll put it in post.
Fix it in post. Okay, we'll do it live.
We'll fix it in post.
That was a good episode.
No, that was good, definitely. We came in about 24 minutes, so not bad at all. Right? I want to try and aim to be 20 minutes to half an hour, so that was perfect.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, an hour a week. It's a good amount of podcasts,
Right, exactly. And considering what we're doing, I don't want to overdo it because it's just headlines and some brief discussion. Simple, get the job done.
Hit hard, hit it fast. Let people get to their next podcast, or let them catch up. If they're catching up on ours, let them get to the next one of ours, or
Right,
whatever. You don't want to bore them. You want to slam, bam, see ya.
right. Well, and I figure a 30-minute podcast is perfect for hitting that commute. Most people's commute comes in around half an hour, and so if we're hitting that 30-minute window, you pop it in, get it started when you're hitting the road. You're done just in time to pull into the office.
Totally. Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool, man. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up the live broadcast here. Bye, everybody. If nobody is watching, I'll say goodbye to you.